The one vitamin that reverses nerve damage. The reason I want to talk about this one vitamin is because it's the most common deficiency behind most nerve problems. Let's start with viruses. And I'm talking about two viruses that have the potential to go into the nerves on the face and create conditions like Bell's palsy. They can hide in this little nerve bundle called the ganglia. It's like a mini brain within the nerves that have this bundle of nerve cells. What's unique about it is the viruses go into those areas, those little bundles, to evade the immune system and kind of fly underneath the radar. And what the viruses do is they can turn off something called autophagy. Autophagy is a condition where you're recycling damaged proteins, but you're also recycling pathogens, bacteria, yeast, fungus, molds, and viruses. And because they're in this nerve bundle, they can hide with our immune system and they just kind of go to sleep. And our immune system doesn't know that they're there because they're not really doing anything, but just waiting for your stress to go up. Because when you have stress, you have cortisol. Cortisol is an immune suppressant. One of the most severe stresses that someone can go through is an emotional stress. And this is why a lot of these dormant viruses come out of remission after a stress event. Loss of a loved one is a huge one. Loss of money. And I've seen this a lot of times in practice with someone with a herpes virus or even shingles. I'll ask them what happened just before this. And sure enough, it was a stress event. And they can come out and create other problems too, like fibromyalgia, also problems on your face as well. There's one thing unique about those viruses. They need the amino acid called arginine to exist. And it just so happens that arginine competes with another amino acid called lysine. If you have enough lysine, you can block arginine and stop the reproduction of this virus. You have to take a lot of lysine to kind of compete and block arginine. You want to take 1,000 milligrams to 3,000 milligrams every single day for a period of time to put that virus back in remission, as well as do whatever you can do to reduce stress. Let's take another nerve problem, sciatica. That usually comes from a disc issue. A lot of people with disc problems are deficient in copper. If you have sciatica, you may want to try either taking a supplement with copper or just putting copper cream topically around that area in your back where it originates to reduce the discomfort. Next condition is carpal tunnel syndrome. That's in your wrist. This is usually a B6 deficiency. The primary nerve that supports myelin is B12. And that would be another type of nerve problem because if you're deficient in B12, you can get like electric shock-like sensations in your nervous system, very, very painful, or even numbness. And that's because B12 is involved with the myelin sheath around the nerve. That's the outer covering that protects the nerve, that insulates the nerve, that allows the signals to transmit. Then we get to MS. Okay, this is an autoimmune disease. This can definitely affect your nerves, your brain. Vitamin D3 is essential in reducing inflammation within the nerve cells and also your brain cells. You need to take large amounts of vitamin D3, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 IUS of vitamin D3 to put that condition into remission. There's a lot of research on this using something called the Coimbra protocol, which I will put a link down below for more information about that. Now let's get into the most common nerve problem that exists, and that is something relating to either prediabetes or diabetes. A lot of people with diabetes end up with nerve problems in their feet. They get numbness in the toes first, and then it kind of starts traveling in the foot. The bottom of the foot becomes painful. The sugar in the blood is creating such a demand for this one vitamin, and that vitamin is called vitamin B1 thiamine. I would take it in the form of benfotiamine because that tends to penetrate the myelin and get right into the nerve and very quickly reverse nerve damage that's caused from the high sugar. The more carbohydrates or sugar someone consumes, the greater the need for B1. If you're a pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, you have a lot of sugar going through the bloodstream. That means you're going to need even more B1 to compensate. But of course, if you just come off the sugar, that might be a better solution. But benfotiamine, this is a fat-soluble version of B1, is the best antidote for peripheral neuropathy because B1 is necessary for the metabolism of carbohydrates. Rates. And just as a very important side note, in order for B1 to work, there's another cofactor that you need, and that's magnesium. But I wanted to create this video kind of short and to the point, Even
And
if you
cover
get
them like
most
the little
common
nipple for
issues
the
relating
bottle
to
and
nerves
it's just
and
pure
what nutrients
silicone,
you should
it's
focus
going to
on
be a
to
little bit
reduce those
better.
problems, I would go with that. I would definitely start getting a stainless steel water bottle instead of the plastic bottles and fill your own water with the water that you can trust. When you're at the grocery store and you're buying, cleaning things, get the plastic-free sponges. And I'm just putting this on your radar because you probably didn't realize there was such a thing, but you just need to be aware of it. Here's another source of a lot of this plastic, the inside layer of cans. Even the canned carbonated water that I used to drink a lot of, I no longer drink canned water. Cans are lined with this thin layer of plastic. You don't want that. I would avoid canned food, canned liquids. What about toothbrushes? They have bamboo toothbrushes that actually has the brushes out of bamboo, not plastic. Again, another simple solution. It doesn't cost that much more. All we're trying to do is lessen the load of plastics on your body. Your cookware, the Teflon, get rid of those pots, replace it with stainless steel or ceramic. I would never heat anything in the microwave, in plastic, ever. Also, get glass containers to store your food in, not the plastics as much as you can. Of course, if you're eating popcorn that's from a bag that you put in the microwave, it's completely lined with that plastic. Really be careful of what you put in the microwave. Dental floss is another hidden source of some plastic. I'm sure it's not going to give you a lot, but there are dental floss products that don't have plastics or forever chemicals. Tampons. Get the 100% organic cotton tampons. If you start now reducing the load of plastics and forever chemicals on your body, this will prevent a lot of problems down the road. And I'm all about preventing things. Unfortunately, medicine is not about preventing things. Medicine is about doing screenings when you get older every 6 months to kind of, oh, we're catching the disease in a certain state, so then we can treat it with medication early. That's not prevention. Screenings are not prevention. What I'm talking about in this video is actual prevention. So make note, spread the word, and I will see you in the next video.